Hi everyone, welcome to Loving Guidance. Mama Marina here, and today's Loving Guidance is on the subject of the mystical unknown, and it's also a little bit to do with self. Um, and the discussion will be exit doors and the exit doors that present themselves all throughout life. And so, um, if you think of a haunted house, and when we buy our ticket to go into a haunted house, we have all intention when we're buying that ticket to have the full haunted experience, to go in through the entry, go through the entire haunted house experience, and to come out the main exit door after it's all done, after we've seen it all. And all along the way, when we finally get, our opportunity to enter the haunted house and we're going through it, there are emergency exit doors kind of sprinkled along the path on the way to the main exit door, to the end. And it's interesting because we we take those emergency exit doors when absolutely necessary. If we suddenly have to go bathroom, if we're with our child and our child gets too scared in the haunted house, we will go ahead and leave the experience, right? We'll take the nearest emergency exit door and make our way out of the haunted experience. We never made it to the full final exit door. And life is a lot like that. So, what I mean by that is, as we're going along the path of life and experiencing what we experience all the time throughout our life, we might get the common cold, we might get the flu, we might even get pneumonia, we might get into a car accident, get a flat tire. Things happen in life. And certain events that happen are like those emergency exit doors in the haunted house example. So when somebody gets pneumonia, that's an exit door that their soul can rightfully take and leave this life a little ahead of the main exit door, the main originally planned full experience, got to the end of it, exit door. And so somebody who gets pneumonia might actually take that early out. If you get cancer, if you get into a car accident, if there's so many examples of the opportunities that arise, and you can take that early out. So I'll give a personal example. I know somebody who lived their life. They were relatively close to middle age, and they got into a car accident. Car went tumbling, wheels up to the sky, and that's how they were found. The wheels were up, and they survived that exit door. They chose not to take that exit door. They survived that crash. They were broken. They had all kinds of broken bones and ribs, all sorts of damage from the actual accident, but they survived it. They decided to hold on to this life and carry on. So they lived through that accident. A year later, their mother died. And so it was a big blow to the soul. 2 years after that, which is very common after like a major tragedy or a loss of a loved one, a deep loved one, where there was a deep connection, you have a window of about anywhere from the time that the death occurred or the tragedy occurred to about year 3. Those immediate 3 years after those types of events, our soul has taken such a blow that we run the risk of getting sick, and a exit door opportunity, if you will, presenting itself to us to take. And so her mother passed away, and 2 years later she ended up with cancer. She was diagnosed with cancer. Her life energy had plummeted. Her immune system wasn't working properly, and she was diagnosed with cancer. So here she is, another exit door that she could take. She could actually decide not to hold on, she being her life energy, her soul, and being able to check out. She opted not to take the emergency door opportunity, the first exit door that was presented to her, which was the car accident, her mother's death. Here comes another exit door. She's progressing through life, right? And here comes another exit door that she can potentially take, the diagnosis of cancer. She could have checked out and died from the cancer. She chose not to. She decided to go through all sorts of treatments and cling on to life. She held on tight to life. And then 5 years later, the cancer returned, and it was a different type of cancer. But here we go again. Another exit door in life presented itself as she had continued on in the journey of life. And she had the opportunity to take that exit door, and she chose not to. She continued to take whatever she needed to take to, it was kind of a blend of Western medicine and holistic medicine, but she continued to keep going. She did not check out. And then several years later, beyond that, her brother died unexpectedly. And that was such a huge blow to her soul, similar to what happened to her mother, that she has a window of about 3 years to kind of process the tragedy, the loss, and to carry on, or a exit door will present itself within those 3 years. And so he passed away, and a week later her best friend passed away, one of her best friends. So she had 2 gut punches, boom, boom, 1 week apart, and they were pretty heavy, and so she ended up passing away right after them. So in her sleep, basically, she went to bed and she just never woke up. So those types of events happen all the time in all of our life. When we get a cold, we could die. Oh, and going back to my friend, she actually got sepsis before her brother died. So in between her second cancer diagnosis and her brother dying, she got sepsis and she was hospitalized. And that was yet another exit door in life that she could have taken, and she didn't. And so going back, all throughout our journey in life, there will be exit doors that present themselves that we get to choose on an energetic life level, on a soul level, whether we are going to take those exit doors or pass them up and continue on the experience, continue on the journey, the adventure. If you think of it like that haunted house, there are emergency exits, and we often just pass those exits because we want to see what's next in the haunted house. We continue on the experience that we are in the haunted experience, right? In the haunted house. And so life is a lot like that. And I'm not saying that life is a haunted house and it's scary or whatever. I mean, it may seem like that, but the truth is it's an experience. And there are going to be unexpecteds, similar to a haunted house. You don't know what's coming. You don't know what lies ahead, what to anticipate. It's almost that it is an unknown. It's almost like a darkness. that you're venturing into as we progress in life. There is this just, we don't know what we don't know is coming, and there are always going to be unexpecteds, positive unexpecteds, like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant, I can't believe it, what, we're having a baby, or negative unexpecteds, like, darn, I got a flat tire, I got to pull over and get this fixed. So there's going to be a mix of both all throughout our journey in life. And also along our experience of life, we're going to have these random exit doors that pop up that allow us to check out early if we really wanted to. And so the choice always comes from within. There have been multiple stories of people who have experienced the same, let's say, gunshot wound. And so they were shot in the same place, and they're taken to the hospital, maybe not in the same, location on the globe, but I'm just saying two similar scenarios. They both go to the hospital and they got shot in the same place, but one of them dies and the other pulls through and survives. So how do you explain that? Well, it's on an energetic soul level. One of them chose to take that exit door that was presented to them, while the other one said, I'm passing it up. I don't want to exit just yet. And they carry forward. And so all throughout life, we're going to have these things that pop up in our life that give us those exit door options. And we get to choose for ourselves whether we are going to leave early or whether we're going to stick it out. We want to go to the main exit door that we were originally intending to exit when we came into this life. When we came in through the entry of the haunted house, we intended to see the whole thing through and go to the main exit door where everybody normally exits. And then, we catch up with our friends out there and chat about our experience. And so the same holds true with life. We have entered in, we have this life experience, all of the things that we experience all along the course of going along this life path, until we have the main exit door, our true original destined death date, the date that we were originally intending to check out. But along the path of this experience, there are these emergency exits that we get to choose. So whether you have cancer, whether you have pneumonia, whether you have the flu, COVID, and whether you have a car accident, whatever it is, a boating accident, a skiing accident, there are so many things that can happen to us, that do happen to us all throughout life. And it ultimately boils down to us, and us deciding whether we want to pass that exit door and carry on, or whether we're just done, we're ready to exit early. And so you see that. Now, the only thing with taking an early exit door is the soul's karmic energy. So what I mean by that is people who die younger, when they die, somebody who dies older, like an old person who has seen the whole life experience to the end, the whole haunted house, and came out the main exit, right? That person is, they completed that lifetime. They've completed the entire experience. They've actually, it's like running a race and you've hit that finish line. You've busted through that rope and you rightfully deserve your reward at the end of that race. Well, it's similar to that, in that those people, they get to actually come back if they want to relatively quickly. They can come back and experience a new life relatively quickly, whatever life they choose. Whereas the people who check out early and take early exits, they don't have that same luxury. They don't get to just pop back into a new life as quickly and as readily because they didn't finish the race. They didn't complete what they were supposed to or originally had intended on completing. And so because of that, because they stepped out of the race, if you think of race, instead of haunted house, people are like, gosh, life isn't that scary. Okay, think of it as a race. You're running a race, a marathon, and you actually can leave the marathon. You don't have to run the full gamut of the marathon and get to that finish line. It's a choice. You get to choose if you're going to do that. As you're running, if you get too tired, you step out, you say, I'm done, I'm just quitting early. And so that is the same thing as these optional exit doors. But the only thing with doing that and not seeing something to its completion in terms of a lifetime, that the problem with that is that we don't get the reward of being able to come and experience a new life as quickly as we would have had we seen the whole entire experience through. So when we don't run the race and we take that early exit, there's a lag time between when we can actually experience something again, in terms of our soul, in terms of the next chapter. And so that's the piece that should motivate people to see this through, even if through the the times that are not very delightful, the times that are challenging, the times that are heavy. There's a lot of times throughout life that life feels very heavy, and it's almost like a burden. There are times that life feels very thankless, and what are we doing here? And we end up asking all these deep questions, but the truth is it's an experience, and similar to that race, it's a choice for us to make to see it through. And despite the pleasant surprises that come in, despite the unpleasant surprises that come in all along that course to that finish line, it's our choice to carry on, to be resilient, to fortitude, to persevere, all of those great words that mean one foot in front of the other, and keep going. Keep going. And don't give up. I have a 6-year-old, and he always says, Mom, never give up, right? Never give up. Well, there are certain situations that might call to give up, but I'm not necessarily sure that life is one of them. We might want to see that challenge and that path and that race and that experience all the way to the end, to the main or the originally planned and scheduled exit. And so Mom's loving guidance to you is to try your hardest to keep that inner fire going within yourself, to make sure that you are charged, that your life energy is charged. And how do you charge your life energy? Well, there's a variety of ways. Love, activity, where you're energizing on a chemical level, obviously laughter. There's all these good things that actually recharge. Travel, where you're experiencing new things through all of your senses, that you recharge that life energy. You bring it back to full throttle, right? Just like you plug in your phone when the battery power is going low, you plug in your life energy and get it boosted up again to carry on, to get you to that main originally planned and scheduled end date. And so that is Mom's loving guidance to you, is to hold on, recharge when you need to, get your soul back into a more grounded, think of a tree, deep roots into the earth, You're of this earth. The physical body is of this earth. Your life energy isn't, but your physical body is. So ground yourself. Make sure that you're feeling a very balanced and stable, a firmly stable rooting to Mother Earth. And when you have your body firmly and securely placed on this earth, and your life energy is fully charged to carry on and keep doing this and keep moving forward in this experience for this lifetime, this particular lifetime, you will make it to that finish line, the originally planned finish line, and get the reward that is rightfully yours. So that's Mama's loving guidance. I believe that you can hold on through the tough times and cruise on through the easy times and the pleasant and playful times, challenging times, heavy times, every situation that pops up that is undesirable, maybe frustrating, maybe it's a setback, and it's kind of gets you to the point where there's doubt or hesitation or disgust and all the negative vibration energies, emotional energies. You can get beyond those. You're strong enough and smart enough and capable, just on a soul level. Your soul is capable to get beyond those times in life. And so carry on and get to the main originally scheduled finish line, that exit door that is originally planned for you to check out at and reap the rewards. And for any emergency exits along the way, acknowledge that they were there. Especially if you've lived a long life already, it's important to acknowledge the things that you've overcome and that you've survived. And it can be as little as a cold. I mean, it doesn't even need to be major, like the person I told you whose wheels were up in the air as their car tumbled and finally, settled down with the wheels up. It doesn't have to be something that major, but still the fact that you pushed through and that you've come out on the other side, on the other end of that. If you've experienced a loss of a pet, a loss of a loved one, whoever, a loss of a friend, the fact that you were able to push through. Similar to my friend, when her mom passed away, she got sick and an exit door appeared, but she decided to pass it up nonetheless. She decided to do what she needed to do to continue on her own life experience without her mom being in her life anymore. And so that's not always easy to do, but that's what I'm encouraging you to do, to find that will within your deep inner being to get beyond, overcome, keep pushing, and keep experiencing. Because ultimately the entire experience, whether it's a race or a haunted house, the entire experience is yours. And it's for you to gain all of that, of what you gain from that experience. So it's wisdom, it's a understanding and an awareness emotionally, mentally, and truly deeply within. And that's the invaluable piece. That's the piece that your soul actually exits and leaves this life path with. All of the experiences, and that wisdom is just plain inner wisdom. So, my loves, persevere, fortitude. You can do it. I believe in you. You got this. Life is challenging, but you are stronger, smarter, wiser, more capable, and you can absolutely, absolutely see this entire experience through. So don't doubt yourself. Don't hesitate to keep going and give yourself that reward that's coming up as soon as you get to that ultimate, true final finish line. All right, my loves, I love you all. And as usual, I love to hear your feedback on today's topic. Leave your comments below and give me your loving thoughts. as well as a thumbs up if this discussion resonated with you, and also a subscribe. Click that subscribe if you want to hear more loving guidance and different topics. We present topics on health, self, relationships, and of course the mystical unknown. So that is today's topic. I love you all. Stay well and keep going. See you. Bye. Bye, babies.